Thank you for joining us at jwfmusic.org podcast, a production of the Jeremy Wilson Foundation 501c3 nonprofit musician health and services organization. Your donations support the Musician Assistance Program serving Oregon and Clark County, Washington. I hope you enjoy the episode. JWF Music Podcast, Episode 1. I'm your host, Jeremy Wilson. I hope you enjoy my conversation with singer-songwriter Kory Quinn, where we talk about his new album, Home of the Brave. While the fools are falsely hailing the crooked wits of tyrants as they...
All right, bud.
All right, Kory. Right on, man.
Yeah, dude.
Good to see you.
Yeah, likewise.
So you're in Houston right now. You're living in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
When did you leave? When did you leave Portland and go to Houston?
Let's see. It was about a year ago. So, and we left in July. Like, not the best time to move to Texas, but you know, baptism by fire. You know, just jump right in.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, this is phenomenal. Your Portland family misses you tremendously.
Oh, likewise.
But it's so strange because it's like none of us could notice that any of us were gone because we haven't been able to see each other in the places that we make music.
Yeah, somebody reached out to me this last week and they're like, "Wait a second, because they like just followed me on Instagram."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Wait, what happened?" It was like, but yeah, you're totally right. Nobody would know because nobody's doing anything, right? So there's no gigs. So
you and I have been producing the Bob Dylan birthday bash for the last 5 years that has raised over $15,000 for the
nice.
JWF Musicians Assistance Program.
Sweet.
But you started this amazing show when and where?
2011, when we had our first one, and brought together a pretty sizable crew, a lot of Laurel Thirsters. I think Fruition was the headliner that first year.
Yep, I remember that.
But yeah, I started it then, and then all the money from that night I just distributed to the musicians who played it that night. And so from the beginning, it's always been a fundraiser for the performers, and for about 3 years. And then I got introduced to you and the Jeremy Wilson Foundation, and was like, "Hey, you guys are doing The Last Waltz. It just seems like a little do-si-do step to do the Bob Dylan thing." And the other fact that they were exactly 6 months apart from each other.
Yeah.
It was made to happen, I thought. And so So that's how that all happened.
Well, what's just amazing is that, like, now you've got a new record out called Home of the Brave, and dude, you have donated 200 copies of the LP, and you're giving us the rights to do unlimited download sales at jwfmusic.org. And I mean, you just exemplify what this foundation was, you know, formed for, which was the idea of musicians supporting musicians, you know, and kind of creating a crisis fund. Tell me about Home of the Brave, and tell me about why you chose to go this route and give so much, continue to give so much to the foundation and the work we're doing.
I mean, I've said this before, and I mean, I'm just gonna, it's the best way that I know how to say it, is that I really believe in that mission, in that musicians can help other musicians. And we need, like, if people are able to step up, like, step up. Like, if you feel called to do something, like, just do it. Like, just make the call and just do it. And so I'm in a good spot in life right now, and a lot of my friends and family and people who are tied to the foundation, especially back in Portland and Clark County and stuff, they're struggling, and they need some help and some support. And I know the foundation has helped out a lot of people, and we've always worked really well together. And I saw this as a chance for me to give back even just a little bit what I owe to the Portland community, who's, I mean, I was living out of my car when I first moved there, and so many people loved me and supported me and encouraged me and got me up on my feet and to where I am today. And so this is pretty much, this is what I can do in this moment for all those folks.
Well, dude, you just have such a beautiful activist heart and mind, you know, and it just seems like every aspect of this album. I mean, I really hope that people will go visit jwfmusic.org and download and buy this LP, because 100% of all of it is going towards our grants and services, as you know. But
Yeah.
because we're talking and we're trying to promote this album, I really want people to know that. You know, and then could you talk about some of the players and all the people that are on the album and how, you know, because the whole album is a gift to your musician friends and a way to collaborate that you know, to be quite blunt, helping people through COVID.
I mean, I guess the big players more than anything, and the folks who really invested a lot of time, be Jimmy Bott first and foremost, and then everybody who recorded on it, but most specifically like Louis Longmire, David Lipkin, Taylor Kingman, Ben Nugent. They're all family, and like we had a really sweet band that would play at the Laurel Thirst every so often, and those are folks that were so tied to, let's say, live music, and that's all gone now, right? And so my hope is that, I mean, some of them, I would really hope that they would, if they needed the help, they would go to the Jeremy Wilson Foundation. As I have a feeling that some of them, and I might be speaking for them, and they might send me a text later, but that's okay. That they would think that money was for somebody else who needed it more than them. Because that's just the kind of people they are.
Everybody that you've mentioned has been, I mean, Louis Longmire, I've been wanting to give make a plaque for over the last 10 years. He's probably played in like 4 out of 5 of all,
he's done every single Jeremy Wilson Foundation thing.
He's incredible, and he's so giving, and the way that he is trying to keep the Laurel Thirst alive. And he's, you go to the Laurel Thirst webpage and they've got a whole donation button for the, to help out the servers and the people that have been working there, the bartenders. I mean, I know people from there that, like, I mean, I was underage. I'm in my 50s now, and I mean, some of those folks, I mean, it's such a community, man,
Yeah.
And so that is one of my favorite things about the Portland music scene and stuff, is the humble nature of the scene, and the organic, and I don't know, just how humble.
Well, it kind of reminds me, like, when you get to a stop sign, like in a neighborhood, like let's say like you're in Ladd's Addition, and you come to a stop sign, there's like 3 cars all come up to the stop sign at the same time, and nobody wants to go first because they all want to be more polite to the other. And like, it's not a bad thing. It's just, it's what embodies Portland, right?
Yeah.
It's like, is this like, I don't want to say over politeness, but to this point where it's like, no, please, please take what I have, like, take the moment, like, and this is my gift to you.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that, I think, in the Portland mindset. And I mean, I know I wouldn't have been able to get through those, being in Portland for 12 years without people being so generous.
Yeah.
And so this is the home of the brave is just, it's the paying forward or paying back, paying back and forward all at the same time.
Well, and the beautiful thing is it's music, and now it gets to live longer than you do. It gets to go on forever, And
totally.
I'm really, really touched by this song called "I Hear Them All."
Yeah.
And I just learned, as you were doing an earlier interview with one of our writers for our blog, that a little bit about that album. And I mean, you've got people from all over the country, Chicago, Houston, Portland, Atlanta, Nashville, you know, all who contributed. It seems like such a modern recording, because could you just talk about how you produced this song and tell us a little bit about the meaning of it, but in the time of COVID and right now? I mean, it's just fantastic.
Well, so initially it really was just me and the guitar. And I was just going to release it just as that, really, because the song.
Well, it's pretty epic now. It's so beautiful.
It is, as they say, jumped the shark. It is totally like, it's pretty overboard and over the top, but we reined it in a little bit. And so, but it does encompass this moment that we're all living in, and where everybody's talking and everybody can hear everybody, but not everybody's listening, right? And so this song in particular started off that way, and then Jimmy I'm pretty sure it was Jimmy's idea to, like, hey, why don't we have Ben and Louie come in? Like, you have your scratch track. I know you want to do your solo acoustic thing, because it's like a protest song, kind of, you know, in the vein of the like early, you know, like Bob Dylan, Phil Oakes, Pete Seeger kind of thing, where it's just you against the world.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure Jimmy was like, hey, we're gonna bring the boys in. I'm gonna put your scratch track over that, have them play to it. I don't even think we had a click track for that one.
You don't need it with guys like you.
It's so kind of loose in certain places. Yeah. And so we had them come in, and then we added Taylor and added David.
Taylor Kingman.
Yeah, Taylor Kingman and David Lipkin. And then from there, it just kind of sat. It just sat. And I had this idea, the seed of an idea before moving down to Houston. I was like, you know, that song could really use like a chorus behind it, like a church choir.
Yeah.
And then I think it was maybe right before I moved down here, I mentioned it to Jimmy during one of our like last sessions together, in-person sessions. And he's like, well, you know, Steve Caron like plays organ. I think he would sound really good on a bunch of your other songs too. Why don't we bring him in?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So Steve came in and busted that out. And then all of a sudden that like blew the gates open. And then it was like, okay, so now we have organ. I was like, okay, now it needs now it needs like horns. And so we got Paul Brainerd to do a horn section. And then Jimmy was like, you know who would sound really good on this and just like blow this song out of the water is LaRhonda Steele. And like, I'm really good friends with her, and I can have her come down here and sing on it. And I was like, let's do it. Jimmy just happened to be recording, what was his name? Kivit Bednar. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And he just happened to be recording him. And then all of a sudden he's like, hey, do you want to hop on and sing some vocals on this thing? Like, and then it just like, and then I was like, oh, Jimmy, he would show me some of the mixes. I was like, oh, we need to go big or go home.
Yeah.
So I sent it off to my buddy Packy Lundholm in Chicago, who has basically like a Southern gospel choir that he plays with on the regular. And so he asked 3 of his folks to come in, Pat McKillen, Nathaniel Warren, who I think lives in Atlanta, and then Ren Patrick, who I didn't find out until later, but she actually lives in Houston too. And then they all recorded 3-part harmonies of themselves, different notes within the, like, by the end of the thing, I think, and then my buddy Bart Budwig, he recorded Elwood, my buddy Elwood out in Eastern Oregon at the OK Theater, and they tagged on some things.
For such a big production in terms of amount of people and sort of how, it's still such an organic, it is not, you cannot say for 1 second it's overproduced, or, you know what I mean? It's just really a song of the times, man. And it accompanies 7 other great songs, this 8-song album. And
there's 2 other people on that song that I didn't mention.
Oh, yeah.
It was a very similar thing, but Megan Letts and Jay Cobb Anderson,
Yeah.
And they lived in Seattle at the time. I think they live somewhere in Palo Alto now, but Jay plays in Fruition, and Megan, I think she's got her own group. She's got her own band.
Yeah.
But they recorded it like on their home computer, and then Jimmy was able to like mix it in with everybody else. And I think by the end of it, there was something like 60 vocal tracks on it.
Oh
It's
my
like,
God.
yeah, it's a monster. It's a monster of a song. But it all stems from that idea where like the record is this, like Jimmy opened this door to me that the record is, it's more than just me and a guitar. Like it could mean so much more. But there's still a couple
tracks where it's just you and the guitar and stuff, and it's gorgeous, you know? And I'm so thankful for what you've done and your positive energy, man. And, you know, you basically are helping the foundation all these years. And now here you are at the forefront of our new website and helping us launch jwfmusic.org, which, you know, I want to have you back on another podcast. And we can talk about all that next time.
Yeah, totally.
But dude, I love you, and you're just the best.
Oh, I love you too, Jeremy.
You know.
All right, buddy. Love you.
Love you too. See you later.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for checking out the first video on our brand new channel. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and subscribe. We've got tons more amazing content coming your way. And don't forget to head over to jwfmusic.org to get your copy of Kory Quinn's new album, Home of the Brave, with proceeds to benefit the JWF Musician Assistance Program. As we like to say at the JWF, your support makes music. See you next time.